I was raised by a mother, a grandmother, and other extended family members who were living libraries of indigenous plant knowledge that has been collected, revised, and tested for millennia. This kind of knowledge is not housed in a building, stored on shelves according to some fixed system. It lives in the memories, oral literature, and daily rituals of its practitioners. As I grew up, I was exposed to this plant knowledge during regular plant collecting excursions, and it was reinforced each time we cooked a traditional meal, every time my mother or grandmother treated me for an ailment, whenever I helped my grandfather in our cornfield. I took this early exposure to plant knowledge for granted, not knowing that it was becoming a rarity among most young people in our modern society. Even as I was learning the practicalities of collecting, preparing, and administering plants, I was being exposed to a worldview that perceives plants as relatives. I was raised to respect all things, especially plants, as living beings. Now, as a native ethnobotanical scholar, I have struggled with how to translate this worldview into terms that can be understood by non-indigenous people. I am often asked, what is ethnobotany? My usual answer is to quote Richard I. Ford. He was one of my mentors, and he defined ethnobotany thus: the study of direct interrelationships between people and plants. Normally, that response elicits blank looks. Perhaps it is better to tell how I followed my path into this field. During my university years, whenever I was given the opportunity to choose a topic for a research paper, I invariably wrote about American Indians and plants. My master's degree thesis focused on medical plant knowledge and shamanism among 3 native cultures of the Southwest. It was at this point that my graduate advisor informed me that I was clearly on track to becoming an ethnobotanist. Ever since that conversation, I, like hundreds of ethnobotanists around the world, have devoted my life to studying how all people, not just indigenous peoples, interact with the plants in their local environments. It is painstaking and rewarding work that requires years of observing and participating with people in their local environments as they talk about plants, as they gather and use plants, as they make decisions about where to harvest plants, and as they sometimes battle with local authorities in order to protect plant-gathering areas and access to plants. I have participated in applied ethnobotanical work in Ethiopia, Australia, and North America, from Alaska to Mexico. I go gladly wherever native peoples are demanding their rights to sustainably manage their landscapes, as their ancestors have done for thousands of years. In other words, ethnobotanists have become advocates for environmental justice, applied conservationism, and indigenous rights.